Rock Transformations Unit, Lesson 1.5, Examining Evidence About Rocks. Activity 3, Evaluating Rock Observations. Here's what your student screen looks like for this part of the lesson. Chapter 1 question, how did the rock of the Great Plains and Rocky Mountains form? Dr. Lewis has asked us to look over observations made by student geologists in the field. These evidence cards show observations that were made by student geologists in the field. Dr. Lewis has asked us to look them over. Dr. Lewis wants us to determine which observations provide strong evidence. Why is it important to use the best evidence possible? You might respond, to make and support claims that are convincing to others. Here's what your student screen looks like for this part of the lesson. We are focusing on this evidence criterion. However, in this class and beyond, there are other factors to consider when evaluating evidence. More detailed observations provide stronger evidence. Geologist Detailed Observation Guidelines. Observe the number and colors of grains in the rock. Observe the sizes and shapes of grains. Observe whether the grains look stuck together or fitted together like puzzle pieces. Observe the rock's texture, including how hard it is. Notice whether there are unusual features in the rock, such as bubbles or fossils. As you are reading through the evidence cards, you can use these guidelines to determine which cards have detailed observations and which do not. A detailed observation of a rock sample will include many of these details. The evidence gradient is a tool for evaluating evidence. The most detailed observations go on top. Observations that are less detailed go lower. You'll work with a partner to discuss the cards and decide whether to place each card on the gradient, depending on how strong and detailed the observation on that card is. These guidelines can help you decide if an observation is detailed. There's no right answer, so you may disagree. Try to come to an agreement before placing each card. If you can't agree about a particular card, you can place that card aside. Students, begin the activity. Which evidence cards were the easiest to place on the gradient? Which ones were the most difficult? Now let's come to an agreement as a class. Which evidence cards do you think will be most useful? End of activity. Be sure to complete all your student work in Amplify for this activity before moving on.